All right, y'all. Hey, Tucker, come here, man. Here. I think you've seen what I'm going to show you. All right. First off, before we actually get into, we're going to go into X guard tonight. But before we go into X guard, I want to show y'all something that I just learned. Just take it back real quick. Since we were on the, just notice that light's out. I think that's new. Sure is. Okay, that's new. It's a new problem. Okay. Let's square up a little bit here. Okay, so right here, I just learned this the other day. Remember, we were running these grip fighting sequences where we end up, go ahead and get your seatbelt or your 2-on-1. Yeah. All right. We were running these grip fighting sequences where we pommel through, we're able to separate his hands. We were just doing this a couple weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. So I learned something. Anytime that I have this overhook grip and he's got this claw grip and he's pulling tight, like it's hard for me to pull up towards the chin, right? But one thing that he can't really stop, he can stop my elbow from coming up and climbing, but he can't really stop it from going across his chest, right? So as he tries to resist, if I can get to his tricep, go ahead and lock it in. Once I get to the guy's tricep, we're able to spider walk up much more effectively. That's not what I'm teaching tonight, but just something I just learned that it blew my mind. Was literally you get to the tricep and then you can spider walk. It works the exact same if you think about how we isolate arms from mount. We spider walk up. So it's the very same thing going on. We're able to manipulate his grip at an arc instead of linearly. That makes sense? Yeah. Anyway, that's not what I'm teaching tonight. Just a quick tip for you. All right, start your stand. Well, perfect. Let me use Boris because he knows the rest better. That way you can walk. Here, I'll demonstrate on you while you get ready. All right. So, X guard. So, what I'm looking to do is, here's what X guard is. I've got a knee here behind the hamstring. I've got my shoelaces in the hip. You see, just with this, I'm able to sway his hips one direction or the other, right? Or one direction. I'm able to make his hips turn in like he's throwing a jab. This is all coming from pivoting off of his hip with my shoelaces and being able to drive my knee on the inside. All right, next, I have either an underhook, a scoop grip under his leg, and I'm cupping on the knee. Right, I'm not below the knee. I'm cupping on the knee. And then or I can have an overhook grip, and I want to hide this ankle here in my armpit. I want to get it as close to my body as I can, so it's hard for him to get it back. Okay, that's what it takes. They can see that. All right, so I've got my number 1, my knee in the back of the hamstring with my shoelaces. My number 2 can be an overhook, and I've got my palm on my stomach, or if I want to hold it too, I can, but I usually will just get here and I'll rotate my wrist and thrust my palm into my stomach and just kind of hold like this. Or you could take an underhook grip. There's pros and cons to both of these. We just got to be aware of what's available. We'll get there. All right. The last thing I need, this pretty much well secures this leg, but nothing stopping its other leg. So that's where my last hook comes in. I'm going to weave behind the knee, and I'm right here in the knee pit with my shoelaces. I'm not super deep with my ankle like this, where I'm hooking the outside of his quad. I'm right here where my shoelaces are in the knee pit. And now, I'm able to turn his hips this way. I'm able to turn his hips the other way. And this is all from this pushing and pulling motion that I have. And now I can also, I have the added benefit of being able to take his foot away from this foot, which is the main thing that I'm looking to do in X guard. The big objective here is, can I get this guy off base, off balance, and get his hands on the mat? If I get his hands on the mat, I can start setting a lot of attacks here. Okay. So first off, what I want everybody to do is just get in position. We're just going to do it for a couple minutes. I want you to have either take your overhook or take your scoop grip. If we take our scoop grip, I'm going to be cupping the knee. I'm going to have his ankle trapped in my trap. Get a good base. Get a good base. And then ideally, I feel like I'm going to push Tucker over if I actually do it, but I'm looking to really hang off of him here. See how my hips kind of elevated off the ground? I'm not like flat on my butt like this. I'm active with this knee. Right. The reason we want to be active with this knee is because if I get lazy with it, back step with your knee and then collapse down with your knee hard. That's what happens to me. Right. I'm gonna get my guard pass. If he's able to stuff this knee onto this side of his center line, he's gonna be able to get a pretty easy guard pass because he can collapse me and get both my knees pointing the same way. So that's why this is active. And then I'm bringing my elbow in my pocket and I'm kind of hanging off of him. All right, or you can have your own hip grip. So I just want you to play with the position for a second. Feel free to move however you want, but I just want you playing with the position and feeling how you're able to manipulate him. Okay? Any questions?
A lot of times when people learn this for the first time, never done that, everybody gets confused on what leg's doing what. So look at what he's doing and make a reference. His hip that's closest to Tucker, his right hip, reference what leg is doing what.
Yep.
That's the leg doing the work in the beginning.
1, 2, 3. And then you can play with this however you choose.
So either side that you're on, the leg farthest away from your opponent is the one coming in secondary and going under that far leg.
Yep.
It's just, that's a problem I have. I get completely confused on what's supposed to be doing when I go to actually do it with my partner.
Yeah, and the important detail is this near side leg I have, my shoelaces are in the hip. Okay. There's another form of this that we might get to later called reverse X, where this shoelace drops in place of where the height of where my knee pit hook was, and that one replaces. They kind of switch from this to this. We're not doing that. It's just knee on the outside or behind him, and the shoelaces in front of him. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Just, I want everybody to play in the position at least 2 minutes. Move however you want, but please just play with how can I manipulate them, and then we'll actually get into some specifics. But just quick 2 minutes, and we're gonna circle back up.
Practice for you. What about the other gauge? Like that?
Yeah, just engage. Like you see how you can pivot off of my kid. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, now you're able.
With that push back.
After this.
Yeah, we got to pass.
I gotta see that.
Come on. Sorry, I'm afraid, but sorry, I got some round and they get that. Oh, on us off very funny. Oh, you got it. Okay. I might have short. I got you. See, that's why I told you. You want to track this? Yeah, you want the shoelace. Yeah, way better. Now, as I start getting up, you can still extend your leg and keep me off base. Yeah, track now, drop it down. You gotta be able to track that. Yeah, right when they get at the peak, click drop drops. We're not kicking them or anything. Literally just like it's some here. It's here. It's here. Almost like picking up, but I'm sliding up like the whole time. I'm not bringing it out the round. If that makes sense. Yeah. But it's just like I'm just timing him. He's raising. He's raising. He's raising. Like the whole time.
You have to be careful because this was now, so you press me out with this way. Try your hand up. Boom.
Perfect.
That makes that leg
Much better.
and you can start.
That's one because I watched it Saturday. Yeah.
But you have to get on it.
It's still like. Let's go with these guys so I can help.
So look, start off with this right, pushing that way. Boom. Right? Now you start attacking back, bringing it up. Boom. That gets me all down. There you go. There you go. You know, wrestling out with me.
Wrestling up. Just like
You're like,
What's up? Let's go keep moving. This one's gonna do it. Stretch your core. Boom. Stand, start all the way to shoot. Look, right here.
Yeah, we're just trying to get his now. You can start.
And you take
That's your
other time.
All right, guys, circle back up. We're gonna keep talking about this, and we'll go ahead and add our first move to it. Now that you at least know what the position is. Chad, come here, man. Let me use your right there. Yeah. I think Chad's also seen this. I want you to be able to see this because maybe you weren't here. You weren't here earlier in the year, like in like April, May, when I don't remember like that. So I think you were still out there back. Yeah. Okay. First off, I'm gonna check this out. Like even without Chad, like if I'm here, if I have a like good shoulder width stance, I have a good base, right? I'm able to control where my center of gravity is right now. I'm pretty well balanced. But even on my if I do it on myself, if I barely lean my weight forward or even get on my toes and not take a deep step out, I have to fall forward. Like there's no way for me to maintain this. Maybe some of you can. I can't do it. Most people though, if the head is in front of their hips, right? That means my weight's starting to go forward. Then if I make them take a big step, there's no other end of the tripod here. Like the head, something's got to fall, right? My head's going to become a tripod. Something's got to be there to catch me, right? Because my weight's going that way. There's nothing there to reinforce. So that's all we're doing here. When I manipulate Chad is whether I have my underhook grip or I have an overhook grip. First thing I was saying, I was trying to emphasize was I don't want to be square like this on my shoulders, and I don't want my like right hip, my right butt cheek touching the mat at all. I want to be engaged here, and I want to be kind of hanging on them, right? This is especially pronounced if I have an underhook grip. Like you see how far my hip is off the ground? I can put my hand under here right now if you can't see, right? So this is engaged, and what I say by that is I'm pushing off of his hip to get this like inward rotation pressure with my knee. All right, now Chad has a good base right now, right? But when I start to imply this internal pressure to get his hips forward, get his weight forward, and then I make him take that big step, he falls. All right, so this is going to be our first drill. Is you should be able to do this without feeling like you're getting a huge leg workout. You should be able to just have like firm tension. You don't have to be squeezing. You can like actually start to squeeze when you're contract your muscles when you're actually gonna move the guy. But we just want like a little tension, not a lot. But when I'm ready to, because he's gonna be trying to fight out of this, right? When I'm ready to though, I can take my big step. And that's all I'm looking for right now. All right, so everybody go do 5 reps of this, and then we're gonna add to it. So we're gonna be quick again because I'm breaking one move down into like 5 parts here. So let's all upscale like 5 reps at a time, and then we're gonna keep building on it.
Is it gonna be just that overhook grip?
You do either one you want. For this particular thing, I just want you getting used to making the guy take big steps. Get that foot away from this one, right? So you shouldn't feel like you're working too hard, and I should be able to take him away and make his hands fall on the ground. And that's it. All right, any questions on that? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Good, man. Good. Been a long day.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this.
At the what?
I was looking forward to this.
Oh,
It's like a long day.
everybody 5 apiece.
Back up. Bring his foot up to your neck. His left foot to your neck.
Other than your right shoelaces into the market.
Yeah, it's like that from the beginning. Yeah, and you put up his knees.
Oh, it's gonna go down.
This is X cards.
Extend the legs out.
As you take them over.
There's a forward fall. You're extending that X out.
Body.
Make your X, it's not an X.
As you think it's extended, it makes sense this way. Use that to also
Yeah.
start to lean and let him pull you to your leg.
Okay. Check say, that bottom foot, look at Tuck, is he dropping that bottom foot too far? Left foot? I thought Nick told us to have it higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was- And I would always run. Being on the sports.
Yes, okay. So that's what I would like. Really from.
Yeah, I gotta try this.
That's just.
That was fine. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
We'll see, I can save it.
Seems like I remember when he was showing those things on what's that like.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be getting this. Yeah, now big pressure and not much tough foul. Yeah, it's not like.
Definitely. He might be pointing out.
To me, I was like, and then watch it. It's like they got one backwards. That's what I think we should do.
Yeah, that's me. What are you doing, bro? That's me, not sure. Here, right? All I do is just. You know, like that. Right there.
Put yourself in both sides, you're not gonna. Gotta be aware of that. Put yourself in the inside. Assuming it's a speed thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on
Then they turn your knee out and ball.
yourself. I gotta look at it.
Might be leg lock today.
Is that a calf flexor?
I don't know what it is, man. We started out, put pressure right on your knee. It's a knee, right, Brian?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put pressure on the back.
There was one here.
Here.
Yeah, I was trying to do.
Your leg.
Right.
Going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody get 5. We good? We're gonna add to it now.
It was nice. Yeah, finally. Wow. I understand. No.
All right, our first sweep event is gonna be, again, you choose your adventure with your hook here. For this particular sweep, it's not going to matter. But my first goal is still the same that we just did. I'm gonna be looking to make him take a big step away and make his head, his body weight, his head continually go this way by driving this ski and starting to also, one thing I didn't mention before is as I kick him away, I use him to help me sit up. See this? Right, come back. If I just kick and he goes away, I don't actually come up to a hip. But if I extend and I look to let him pull me up, to sit me up to my left hip, I can build this height and keep this constant tension that I need as well. I'll feel like I'll actually make myself really long if I don't move myself. If I keep my spine here, I'm gonna make myself long, which is gonna make me weaker. But if I'm here, I'm the same amount of distance that we just were when I was on the ground, like my head from his head. Right, so I have a lot more power because I have a better ankle now. So first thing we're gonna look to do, extend him away, make him take that big step, and have him pull us up to a hip. All right. Now, this is the whole goal of X guard, is get him on his hands, because there's several things we can do. I can enter the legs from here, or I can fight with him, and as he starts to come back up, right there, I drop to the heel, and there's our sweep right there. That's what we're gonna do for this particular one. No, we might go into the leg entry at the end if everybody's getting the sweep. But again, I'm here, I'm gonna make him take a big step. As he comes back up, there's a point where his body weight right there reaches like its peak, its apex. And right there, I'm not gonna move my foot and kick him. I'm literally going to ride down to his heel as I continually start to extend my leg, okay? So I get him over, he builds height, and boom. All right, and this is where we can go straight into a pass. We can start entering the legs from here. But all I want you to do right now is to sweep. One more time. Anybody got a question before I show it one more time?
You show the like the pass you would use
Or yes, in a second. Okay. After we break, I'll show you. All right, right here, right there, and then I'm looking to drop ankle. You see, I'm still an X guard.
You're turning to the right and kicking with your right a little bit, kind of.
I'm just keeping that tension the whole time, the same tension that I had.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm just dropping from my shoelaces from the knee pit towards the ankle as I consistently extend my leg. And now I land still in X guard, which is important because also you might find yourself, especially if you go into a leg shootout with anybody in here and you both like leg locks, you might just find yourself in X guard, like down here on the ground. And now you'll know some passes and some leg entries after today and Thursday. All right. 1, 2, 3. TikTok, I can show you that. All right.
I always try to like do that and I can never do it like right. Like I never actually do it.
So I find myself in X guard. Yeah, I can start.
Like this. I'm still an X guard, right? Yeah. But I'm covering your ability to move your hips right now. Or I'm slowing your ability. From here, I start shifting my knee. Yeah, I'm gonna take my side of the mat. And I'm constantly riding up my torso. Now from here, there's a point where I'll have to kick out this hook, my right hook. My back step back. Now I have one shoelace left, and then we go. Okay. Which item? With your chest covered, roll in with your chest and look that way. Yeah, start taking this knee to the mat as you grind the torso. Like they glued to me, back step. That keep well. That this hook. Turn your back, so you back step with your right foot. Yes, sir. But keep this hook, if that makes it more painful. Right, yeah, yeah. Yep, keep this hook the whole time. Yep. But hopefully it's not. What feel like hitting you in your body the whole time. Yeah, that's the idea.
There's a momentum aspect to it. Can't do it just one. Right there. Yeah, outside, yes. Brian? I want you to think about it.
There's some people, it's sort of triple, whether there's one.
All of this part right here, all I need is to, it's called a perfect. That's all I need right there. That's it. And I have to even grab it right.
Yeah, you got it. Look that way. Yep. Start looking that way. You back all the way.
You gotta really commit and turn. It's counterintuitive, but when you start really getting into it, you gotta commit to that back step. So that back step is like, woo, it's like a giant step over, and then you do a quick hip switch. So look back.
You make them carry your weight home.
Yeah.
Right there.
To clear everything, you gotta go hard. When JC did it, it was like.
Now, put your hands together. And right there, you got it. Yeah, so you see how tight that is, Brian?
Yeah.
Long up, start moving it back, that way. There you go, keep going. Boom, right there.
Step back hard.
It's just this way. Cowboy.
I did the hip flip.
All you need right here is the back of my foot. It's to be right here. It's to be right here, but if you get it down here, it's fine. But, like, it's better to get it right there. The base of the elbow, right there, right there. Boom, you see how tight that is? That's tight. Yeah, that's not going to be right.
You do this. If you're like this,
That's right. But you can't, like,
these are steps.
tight, tight. And they can't, when you get out of the crease right here, I thought we were saying, get it out. They can't, like,
It's a hard.
try to escape it. They can't.
Yeah. Follow through all.
Can't escape.
So we're going into.
Tell them. Yes, my lay on the back and started to back. Really?
That force,
Yeah.
that force is the thing.
Years ago.
You can't go through.
All the way.
Look, should be able to. Yeah.
You gotta feel like you're. You got to feel like the whole thing is a shot at around the boat. A lot over which I might have.
Also helps.
Now we just gotta be.
I'm telling you. That's all you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hang out.
All right, y'all. We're gonna clean a couple things up, and we're gonna add to it.
All right, so a couple things here. There's a reason. Can everybody see my bottom hook? Can anyone not see it? Make sure you can see my bottom hook right now. I'm gonna drop this foot. What's up? I want them to see it from this angle. So, right here, you see how my shoelaces are on the inside of his knee pit, right here. They're not. My toes. Let's rotate it underneath. See how my toes are barely visible? If you were standing right here looking at his knee, you would barely be able to see my toes. Versus if I start getting ankle deep, where now my ankle's on his shoelaces or on his knee pit, you can like see all my toes back there. That makes sense? That means we're too deep for this. I want my shoelaces like right here in the knee pit, because if I have my knee this deep, as I start to extend, watch what happens to my hook. I completely lose it. His knee starts to climb my leg. It's much harder for me to track him versus if you come back, if I'm here in the shoelace, I can track him through the whole movement. Okay. The other thing is here, watch how big of a step I get if I'm ankle deep. Okay, versus come back. I can get way more with just slightly different angle. Right? So that's why that detail really matters. We don't want to be here because as I go, if he could start to collapse this leg right now, he'll just pass it, and it'll be quite painful.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not Chad does it, but yeah.
Make it graceful.
All right. So next move, I just want y'all to think about that detail. Next, it's the same sequence. We're just building on it. So I'm making him take the big step, pull me up. I'm going to get his hands on the mat. Okay. Now, right here, there's several things that we're going to be doing in this moment live. He's going to be looking. He's most likely going to be looking to build back up. Some guys, if they know what your game is, they might be a little more hesitant. They might fake going back up for a second to see what you do. But generally speaking, what I'm looking to do as bottom player is keep his hands on the mat as much as I can, make him have to hold his body weight as much as I possibly can. And then as he tries to come up or bring his head into me, I can post up here. And this is like the position that we start having to battle in. But he's doing way more work than I am because I'm just framed up on the armpit and I'm just keeping a little tension in my hooks. He's having to hold his whole torso up, okay? And I'm trying to tilt him to as much of his weight on his hands as possible. All right. But this is where we get stuck. But eventually, we might give him enough resistance where he forgets our game, whatever. But eventually, we start to give him a little less resistance. We let him get back up. We let him go. And then we get him out. Right? But you might have to trick him. Like most people aren't just, they might not just explode up. You might have to give them some real resistance. Like it's more likely to give them real resistance for 10, 20 seconds. And then eventually they posture up and you're able to get to sleep. Here's what we're going to add to it now. I'm still at X guard, right? I might have had my shoelaces on the ankle for the sweep. I go right back to the inside so I can start to continue owning this leg. If I control his legs, then I control his hips, which still gives me the advantage in this position. Okay, I get to dictate where I want to go offensively. He's on the defense right now. What we're going to do is I'm going to look for a pass here. I'm going to explode up and try to cover his knee with my chest. Okay, we're in X. I'm exploding up, trying to cover his knee with my chest and get my elbow to the mat. Okay, and notice I'm posted out here too, and he's carrying me. Right, I'm still in X guard. If you were to look at my hooks, they haven't left. I'm still here, exactly where I was. I'm just now I have my chest on his knee. All I'm trying to do is slow down his ability to start shrimping his hips away from me and getting
control of his knee back because now I don't have his knee with my hand. Okay, so I'm just slowing it down. Next piece, this is one. Next piece, I'm gonna start rotating through with my elbow to the mat and driving this knee towards the mat as well, continuing to have connection with him the whole time. Right? There's a point, I'm at it now, where I'm still an X guard, if you look at my hooks, but there's a point where I can't be an X guard anymore. I have to back step now. Right? You're gonna feel it. That's why I'm saying do this drill slowly. So as you start to turn right there, kick and back step. See how my torso never leaves him? And I still have that hook from X guard. And now I don't, right? So I want you to take it in steps, go through the whole sweep, or do everything so far. And then when we get here, we're gonna have one, which is explode up. Let's take my chest above my armpit over, my elbow to the mat, my chest to the knee. You see, I also stuff it as I sit up. I'm just trying to control it. I don't want, as I come up, I don't want him to just yank it back. And now I'm in leg entanglements or a guard pass, you know. I have this. He can't yank it. He can't yank his knee to his chest right now, right? I just want to make sure that as I transition, I continue to hold this. So I'm coming up, chucking, getting the elbow to the mat, and crashing my chest. This is one. Next, start to rotate on through till I feel the last moment where I can physically be in X guard before my spine would break if I continue rotating. Right? This is two. Next, it's going to be a strong kick out of my my hip hook. You'll feel which one it's going to be. It's not the one on the knee. It's your primary hook, the one that was on top when you were in X guard. As I rotate on through, kick back. And then from here, I can start to collect the knees and click side, however I want to do that. All right. Any questions on that? All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. He's not doing that.
No, but I'm trying to get you accurate. It's a whole flawed. You saw how much you turned.
Oh, and the summertime stuff.
Your hips in your knee, your knees, your knee to the back and the other side. Hold it. Your knee. Yeah. Get it going here. Makes sense. Hurts. Sit up. Right, take that elbow to the mat. Cover his knee with your chest. Like your hip, down, start to free kick back, start to rotate on through. Now kick back whenever you're ready. Keep your elbow. Keep rotating.
And
Yes, but that's not saying you gotta rotate. But you're also gonna make sure you pick it up in the wrong spot.
Oh, now you're really good.
As I stand, I'll sit up.
I'll love a lot of ways, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna start getting Because as I continue trying to rotate, I'm able to finally get it out. I have to cut it, rotate, to be able to kick it out. I'm kind of stuck. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a moment where you can't really be an X-guard if you want to continue rotating. And that's the just take it super slow. Like, also when you hit the guy, you put it down. So you know, trying to get Wait, is that your knee?
No, the back.
Oh, I thought I heard it pop.
What's kind of like.
Yeah, we'll take an elbow to the mat. As you rotate. Even through the check. I want you to go. It's impossible to rotate and be an expert. Let that stop there and feel yourself heavy on steps, feel yourself heavy on this. And then say, okay, time to go. Rotate kick at the same time. This is really an impossible kick. You'll feel you can't rotate it anymore.
I'm tired.
Because of this hook. It's connecting you to it. But I can rotate if I kick it. Just stop the chick. Just feel like as soon as you start to feel outside, just because this is a 1% and you just all the way to the good news is give a little bit slow down. Potential pass. That's not if they defend it. You're still out a lot. Bring it out.
Oh my God.
That's just the way it's open.
Step back.
Or it gets back. Or you get
Yeah, you said, I'm not being.
That's it. Come on, what's the question? Anything I should say is like successful. Yeah. So you take your hips down, right? You make things like
Too far up.
instead of tracking this, hopefully you started. I want it inside still, but I want an ego into the back.
Oh, okay.
It's will stay connected.
Okay.
Now, continue rotating. At this point, you're gonna know I can't rotate anymore. Your leg is over. Then you try and look at innovation. The whole time. And the moment you should throw it back out. Right now, I didn't look through that. Like free. You're not gonna keep it out there. Rotate. That's why I did the way that. Yeah. That way you
It looks weird. Back step on.
Plus, they're showing you back. That's all I'm saying, but it's.
Yes. You don't seem like you're assuming position already. You must have some light to get. This.
Some of that's, yeah, this, he's making big adjustments, but
As he comes up, I gotta focus on mine.
Yeah.
As if you were trying to.
Come back up, but it's not the constant tension. I don't know that. So it's more direct. That's what you have to.
So, you know, that's spending like.
Right about here, right? Look.
Better.
You mentioned the TRT.
If your elbow towards the better. Yeah. And continue rotating as you back step. All the way back step. We're gonna land like this.
This we're learning from him, you know, with that. All the time. It's in your eggs. Eat your eggs. Have a lot of work. Down, yeah. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Once you rotate, now see, yes.
This is like, it just sort of, makes me.
Yeah. But it's. Watch his extension, don't run into it, and we'll make her. He's having.
Yeah, it's like kind of beating your hip under, beating your hip into my hair right here. So I can get everything.
You can, I did it. I got down. It was.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it's. Right. That was the next thing I was gonna say. He's countering so hard to keep from falling forward. He's giving you the second half. So if he starts doing this and being resistant to fall forward,
He's already like wanting to go that way.
he's taking you to step two. So you may just need to bail on
And,
that.
and a lot of guys, like those guys are getting hard to get like that because they don't really sweat. Like they know, sweet, those stars know that. And you, if you get hard to commit, you're late to any place. That's what people are trying to set up, so they can take advantage of.
Yeah.
And the players is not gonna hard commit like that. Yes. I don't think that's a person's thing, I think that's.
Got you out of shape
I'm
and
really hard.
bullying you and you've gotten better, so I'm just like, ah. I got 100 pounds on top.
So you gotta feel that shift and he just throw me to the mat. You gotta feel that point where you gotta face that.
I was like, whoa.
All right. Next,
The next thing I want is you self-select if you're an advanced guy. Or you think you got this and you want to go with the advanced move. You watch this. If you know that you're not, then continue drilling what you are already drilling. Okay. Or feel free to try this. I don't care. Just I'm trying to give something a little more advanced. And if you look at it, you're like, yeah, maybe not.
I'll let you decide. And if you don't want to run this, just run the last drill that you were just doing. Okay. So here, this is where we're going to do our first leg entry. And again, this can be from the overhook or an underhook. I've gotten it from both. But I'm going to look to get his hands on the mat. Right. First thing I'm looking to do here is, as he wants to come back up, I want to, or start to like come up, start coming towards me. I want to keep it at bay. Because if he can come and crash my chest, he can just collapse my leg and start to pass. All right. So when I got his hand on the mat, he starts coming at me. I just want to frame in the armpit, extend him away. All right, and he's still battling to come into me, whatever. All right, so this is where, again, like I was talking about last time, we either get it to where he really commits hard to coming into me, or he commits really hard to going up, and that's where we're gonna have to sweep the setup. Or if he commits hard coming into me while I have the spray, that's where this next move is gonna get you're gonna have higher grade of success when he's already wanting to come this way. So he's coming up. He's coming into me. What I'm looking to do this whole time, go ahead, get out. I'm going to look to switch to reverse X, right? And you'll see I'm continually using this to elevate and control that foot, make that foot weightless. So come on, come into me, come on. I don't let it, okay? As he commits hard this way, it makes it easier for me to manipulate his foot. Okay, so we can play this like game the whole time. Actually, it's probably a great drill to try if you want to grab a partner for a few minutes during open mat. And just try to see how long you can keep their hands on the mat while they're actually trying to get up. Here, what we're looking to do in this position is switch to reverse X. Once we know this guy really seems to want to commit to coming into me, I'm going to switch to reverse X. So what I'm going to do is drop my top hook to the knee. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to remove this this hook and start to come up as I drop. Right, I don't want to spend too much time like dropping this and then putting this in, because then he can backstep or he can start to pass. I want to start to bring this hook up, and then at the last second, I'm going to drop it. This is reverse X. Now, all I'm doing is hooking his hamstring, and I'm hooking the front of his knee. Now I'm going to use these shoelaces and his pressure of wanting to commit into me and bring my knees to my chest. Okay? His hands are still on the mat. Note that. From here, this is a moment in time. We're not going to stay here. I remember that. From here, I'm going to look to extend my bottom leg and shoot my hips up. Block a senkaku or a triangle and take him over into double trouble. Again, if you feel like it's too advanced for you, don't even worry about it. Do the last drill. But this is where we land. Ideally, this is double trouble where I have the saddle or inside senkaku or 411, my goal, whatever you want to call it, and I still got my overhook because I was playing X guard, right? So this is called double trouble because now I can attack the secondary leg, and if he commits hard to defending that, he opens up the primary. So one more time. We're playing X. We'll get his hands on the mat. I keep him at bay. Play this game. Figure out what's this guy really want to do. He really wants to try to pressure into me. Okay, fine. I'm gonna bring out this hook. Come on, go, and then bring my knees to my chest and point my leg and take him over. Right there's a moment where you see like I'm trying to do it a little more live, and that's why it's like a little sloppier, because you're gonna have to feel that moment where I need to bring my knees to my chest, and it's really hard to do it while I talk, by the way. But this is where we're looking to land. It's double trouble. From here, I can attack an ankle lock here, or I can fall back on. And he can't run. That's why double trouble is so advantageous. It's very difficult for him to run. I have his hips locked down, full control.
This looks more difficult than it is. I was really intimidated by this, but once you get it, a light bulb will go off and you go, okay, I felt it that time. I felt myself slip in to the saddle. But when he's at the end of this, reference what, if you don't know what saddle it is,
Best thing for him to see.
make a mental picture of it. That's where you should be.
Yeah, just a different angle.
There's some twisting and turning in that midair part of it, but he will fall into it and you will feel him and it'll feel good.
Let's do it in numbers again, all right? So we're just gonna go in as soon as his hand's on the mat, okay? All right, 1, but frame up into the armpit. And don't let him, figure out, play this game of manipulating. He wants to pressure, I can kick forward. He wants to really commit to just getting up, I can go for my sweep, whatever I want to do. But in this scenario, we're gonna assume he really wants to pressure into me. So as he's starting to come in, I'm gonna make a switch to reverse X. All right. And then as he pressures in, I'm bringing my knees to my chest. I'm shooting my hips up, kicking my bottom leg forward. This is 1. Okay. 1 is reverse X, or 1 is the frame. 2 is reverse X. 3 is bringing my knees to my chest. 4 is kicking this bottom hook straight and getting my hips up. Right. So normally I'm not suspended like this. I have to have the momentum on my side, but we're looking to basically pendulum our feet up and then chop down. Okay. And we still have this overhook grip. We got, as long as I can collect the knee on the way down, even if I lose this, I can still recollect my double trouble. I just want to control the knee at least. All right. Any questions? That was kind of sloppy. If anybody needs to see it again, I can do it again. All right. Again, if that's too advanced, we can do it. We'll do that one again on Thursday, but just do the last drill. Let's just get 5 more minutes and then we'll roll. All right. Any questions? All right. 1, 2, 3.
He said, you'll find some that are like topless. And they're like, they don't go there.
Wear those goggles, blinders, like on the side.
Not watching, I'm not seeing. You don't even know what that's. You don't. Are you ready? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about going to the tango.
Put it back. Now, leave this where it is.
Okay.
I was thinking. That took me for
Excuse me.
Yeah, start from drum. Yeah. Really stretch it all. That's right. That's everything.
Bottom leg, that's it. No, no. Yes. That's all.
Chest, right? Take your right leg straight. Yeah. With the chop down, the front. You gotta shoot. You know, but it's done. Yeah, don't wanna, I just don't want to. He lost position. My leg stay very. We're just like gonna shoot our hips up. Gonna see like sure. Just see our legs straight and pointed behind us, and then we're gonna watch the triangle shot at it.
I remember. Yeah. Now, remember the drum pass. Did you play sports? Yeah. Normal.
You got here. Here.
Play basketball 1 year.
That ball got me this morning. It was freezing. That water was freezing.
Make it just filtered, but. We're gonna control, so right now, Jack is just running, but it's like a. Yeah. But
I think I lost too much weight. They did out there.
Yeah, he did not fail.
Yeah.
Rise or something.
I think I'm gonna go walk tomorrow. In like 2 weeks, if it's not healed up, I gotta get a shot right down the bottom. But it's like I'm still got straight in the bottom right there.
So let's take.
Basically, everybody walks around with bones. The tendon ligaments this way, this way, if you pull this way or pull that way, and right through the other way. Whichever one you pull is long, you go straight up. And you keep like some straight drive. And that's gonna mess up your hand. This would never run out. Every time I go to Muay Thai, so I don't do any of the running.
It's my chest and I kicked up.
Like jumping jacks, I will barely ever do some spring.
Never.
So that is, that's the secret activation. I was there, and then it just. I don't mind shots with that, at the bottom of my foot. Well, that's a whole nother level.
The only thing that they've ever done was
Thanks for trying or watching. If you want to try it, $10 flat fee for the rest of the year gets you all the classes.
right.